right, everyone. Well, I have to say, we've got a slow week here. It's Tuesday. Yesterday was dead. Today, not much better. This is holiday week stuff. I mean, it's summer. We shouldn't really have high expectations, but I know for those of you guys who are showing up every day, like I am, we show up because we're hoping to see some opportunities. But man, it's been a slow week, and I don't think it's going to get any better, right? Tomorrow, okay, then Thursday, markets close. Friday, a lot of people end up taking the whole week off, especially the big money traders. And you have to recognize that we as retail traders are the fish. We sort of swim in the wake created by the whales, and we try to catch a little bit of profit off of, their moves that they're making in the market. But right now, it feels like the whales are on vacation, and we're just kind of swimming around. We're not finding anything to trade. So let's look at the scans right now. Biggest percentage gainer, well, it is 98% OPTT. Can't really complain about that. But as you know, it's a lower price stock at 55 cents. And to be honest, although it gave a nice move here, it pulled back, it rejected, and then is kind of doing this late morning rally. It's actually 12:30 right now. I want to show you SYT though for a second. SYT, this is the stock I made the most on, but at only $420. Look at this seller here at $3. I mean, come on. Who's selling 130,000 shares of this stock? Why do we have this big order stacked here on the offer? Somebody is unloading their orders at 3, and clearly that is creating a wall. And this stock is not able to break out of it. So this is the stock that I did take a trade on. So I'll go over this trade for you. I got 3 trades today, 2 winners and 1 loser. The trades were small in total. So SYT this morning, kind of out of nowhere, squeezes and halts up. It then opens higher, and right in here, we got a dip on that red candle and then a rip back up. And I got long on that move, adding at 282. And then I added to my position at 295 for the break of 3. And that was before that seller came up. Now, if we actually look at the heat map here, this is going to show us that seller appeared just after the move, basically like right after. So this is that seller, and they've been parked there. You could see all morning. But when the stock first halted up and then opened and dipped and ripped, it wasn't there. We came up to 3. But then that seller came up, we dropped down, and then, that was all over. I'm surprised it even rallied back up here because of that big sell order. So anyway, so 298 up to 3 there, then sort of curled back up on lighter volume, but I didn't go back into it. So my best trade of the day was a dip and a rip on HALT Resumption. I really like trading around circuit breaker halts, and the reason I like it is because the very fact that a stock is halted is clearly showing us that we have volatility. Now, some of you guys, by the way, may have tried to download my stock selection PDF yesterday. When I first uploaded that PDF, I guess there was some issue where we changed the name of the file. It had spaces in it. We took the spaces out. So some of you guys tried to download it. You got that rejection. So I apologize for that in advance. I will put the link right here. If you want to download it, you can download it again, and it will work today. We fixed it last night. It was only broken for maybe like an hour, but I know some of you guys who first tried to download weren't able to get it. So what I want to comment on here is sort of going back to these circuit breaker halts. I'm just going to pop up my slide deck here for 1 second, and I'm going to show you one of the setups that I take here. Today, if we go actually to the NASDAQ halts, let's just see. So this is our, you can search NASDAQ halts, NASDAQ traders website right here. And these are all the halts that happened today. So in fact, this is really like sort of stark contrast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 halts today. We have WHLR, SYT, and then these 2 others. If we look back just a couple days ago, honestly, well, this is okay. I don't know why it's skipping and jumping to February. It's skipping a bunch of them. On a day where we have a lot of volatility, it's not uncommon to see one stock have 10, 15, even 20 halts. That's not uncommon. We've seen that a million times. So trading around halts is a strategy that I do focus on quite a bit. So I'm going to pull this up here, and we're going to search for halts. All right, so let's see. So this slide deck is pretty deep. It takes a second to search through it. Just go through. Just gonna put those down. So halts, Black Monday, yes. Oh, come on. Of course. I guess we'll reload it. We've got no choice, right? So I have a chapter that I teach that is specific to circuit breaker halts. Let's see where it is. All right, so we're chapter 8 here, intro to momentum. Yeah, so chapter 8, part 1. What I want to show you are just a couple examples of trading right around these circuit breaker halts, because this really is a strategy that I enjoy trading. And we get this set up all the time. So today it felt like the circuit breaker halt was kind of the best bet, just because finally we had a stock that had some level of volatility. So here we go. So buying into or out of a halt. All right. So this is the section here, and I'll just put this up here. So this is a stock where CHFS hitting scans. This was several years ago, but just as a sort of example. So we get a number of halts, and those are defined by these little lines here where the price basically was like sideways because we had a period of a halt. So we had a halt up, we had halts down. And what I really like doing on these is as soon as we get a resumption, I look for just the momentary dip and then a move back up. Now, this is an example where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 halts going up before the first halt going down. So we went up 300%, which is incredible. We were down at like 50 cents a share. We go all the way up to $2, $3, and then we halt down. This is another nice example where we get the halt up, we open, we dip. You see the dip, which is the bottom of that bottoming tail, and then we rip up into another halt. So what's happening during that dip, the stock halts up, which means it went up at least 10% within a 5-minute period. So big squeeze up, pops up. Well, the halts depend on the price. So it's 20% for stocks between 75 cents and $3, and then below 75 cents, it's every 15 cents. But let's just say it's a stock over $3. So it squeezes up 10%, it halts up. As soon as it opens, there's a little dip. Why are we dipping? People are taking profit. People who are in for the spike up are taking some profit off the table. They're like, yes, I got a nice win. It dips down a little bit, and then you get that surge back up. That surge is a combination of traders jumping in for the next leg up and potentially short sellers covering. That then sends us higher. Now, if there's a really strong imbalance to the buy side, we get that momentary dip and then right up to another halt, 2 halts back to back. So I really like trading the resumption coming out of the first halt. Coming out of the second halt, I try to be a little bit more careful because now we should have already had our first dip and rip. Now we've halted up twice. All right, if you took profit, if you were in before the first halt and you didn't already take profit, you're probably going to take profit after the second halt. If you got in to the second halt, you're probably going to take profit as well. So I'm expecting a little bit of a bigger dip after resumption from the second halt. However, if it holds up and we see, for instance, a big buyer on the bid, then that's where I'm looking for that rip back up potentially into a third halt, as you see here. And this is where this is a classic trap. So it halts up once, twice, 3 times. That's very strong. Then it starts to show red. Short sellers are probably like, okay, I'm adding here. And then all of a sudden, whip back to another halt up. And they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So right here, just under $2, about $1.80, you get a bunch of short sellers that are trapped. And then you get several more halts going up. Now, it does end up coming back down. But again, can you hold as it goes against you until you get that recovery? So in any case, this is my slide deck. We've got 1,700 slides here. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that one little component or one sort of subset of momentum trading. These are all variations of momentum trading, right? I'm trading momentum. I'm looking to trade things that are moving higher, buy high, sell higher. And so this entry on SYT right here was a high entry at 282. And then I sold higher at about whatever, it was 295, 296, something like that. I took profit at 298. I think that was my best exit. But that was actually my last trade, $420. I would have made Elon Musk proud if it was $420.69. But I'd have to make another 4 cents to make that happen. So anyways, I'm not going to push it for the 4 cents, but that was my biggest winner, which is really kind of pathetic for me. This is a very small green day. But let's go back to the first trade of the day. Okay, so first trade of the day, ANVS. So ANVS right now is actually grinding a little bit higher, as you could see. So we're up here around $7 a share. This morning, sort of a similar pattern. It pops up right here. I see it popping up, and I see that it has news. So I'm like, okay, we're popping up here with news. Right here, micro pullback. That's what I was thinking. Right there, we got a micro pullback. So what I did was I bought this at $6 and, oops, let me go back to full screen. I bought this at $6.04. The reason I did that was because on the bid right here at $6 was a 10,000 share buyer. And I was like, that's a pretty big buyer. So we've got a pretty big buyer here at $6. I'm getting in at 604. My stop is 6. With 1,000 shares, I'm risking 4 cents. So, and you can see that I lost $36.26 on it, which means my exit basically was right at $6. So I get in at 604, stop is at 6, risking 4 cents, and it pops here up to 620. But we have a problem. Can you tell what the problem is? All right, we've got a little doji candle. Okay, so we pop up quickly to 620, but notice this, highest volume of the day, and look at the size of this candle. This is a divergence. You've got a small candle with high volume. That tells us we must have some hidden sellers. And the price drops back down. So now I say, you know what? I better just bail out. I get out at 6 and it ends up dropping lower. It was the right move to exit. And I was kind of bummed out. I was like, man, this market is just, it's tricky. Again, you've got news. It feels like it's a daily chart with room to the 200. You've got a relatively low float under 10 million shares. It's not easy to borrow. The price is good between 2 and 20. It checks all the boxes from the stock selection standpoint. And yet it didn't have the strength to go, at least at the time that I traded it. So whatever, I lost $36. Doesn't matter, except that it does. Because it's painful and it's frustrating. And it's like, man, another little loss. Like, this is dumb. What's going on here? So then the next trade was VLCN. So VLCN, this one comes up on the scans. And you could see that we got a little move on this. So on VLCN, on the 1 minute, you could see that first it pops up at like 5 a.m. So, of course, I wasn't trading then. Comes back up here around 8:15, pulls back, pops up higher, pulls back, pops up higher, goes sideways right here. And you know what? I should have bought right here as it broke 6. That would have been a better entry because I had just had that loss on ASNS or ANVS, whatever it is. I was doing something else. I think I was responding to some YouTube comments and I was like, nah, I don't know. It seems really slow today. So I actually wasn't paying attention when this curled right here. But as it hit a new high right there, I saw it hit a new high. I pull up, I had the chart up already and I was like, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to jump in right here. So I jumped in with a stop at this breakout spot, which I assumed and visualized as being support. And we got a squeeze here up to 625, 630. But at 633, what do we have on the level 2? A big seller. So a big seller comes up there. Let's see if I can pull this up. So this would have been VLCN. So yeah, it was that seller right there, that 30,000 share seller right about there. So it's a little bit hard to tell here, but it was this seller kind of right in that block. No, it was right there. And then so that seller kind of comes up right there, and then we ended up having this big wall of sellers in the 620, 630 area. So it's a little hard to zoom on. This doesn't zoom very well, but yeah, and then there was a seller up here at 650. So anyway, so we had some sellers on this one, and with that, I was like, all right, I'm jumping out. So I was in here, back out here, made $194. So now I'm up $158. I saw someone else say they were up 162. So I was like, you're buying lunch, not me. And then I kind of was like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be it for today. Now, some of us were looking at Tesla as well. Tesla, nice move. It's been strong. It's been grinding higher. Obviously, it's a large cap. There's no question about that. This morning in this area, I thought that we were going to get a rejection. And the reason I thought that was because the green candles were getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, due for a pullback. So we end up pulling back for a moment, but then we push a little higher, and then we reverse at the open. A lot of chop up, back down, creates the opening range, and ends up, as you can see here, kind of pulling away a little bit later in the morning. So classic large cap grinding price action. Not easy for scalp traders who are trying to get in and get out really quickly, but for traders who are comfortable holding a bit longer, you definitely got some nice moves. So Tesla right now is up 9% on the day. It's a solid move. It's over the 200 EMA. So, that's good to see. And then you've got the S&P 500, which is moving up a little bit. Tesla being in the S&P is going to help that. NVIDIA, this one, some traders talking about this. Currently, we're on a MACD crossover on the daily chart. So this is sort of in consolidation. And you know what I find interesting is going back to Chewy from yesterday. So we look at Chewy and we know that we initially got this big move back here when traders got excited. We had the Roaring Kitty tweet, RK tweet, and then, drops back down, which kind of surprised me, but it comes back down. Then we have Roaring Kitty disclosing his position, and this squeezes, as you can see here, from, what was this, from 27 all the way up to 35. And then it ended up being down like 5% on the day yesterday. And that really confused me. I'm like, wait a second. So Roaring Kitty announces he's in 9 million shares and the stock goes down 5%? I don't even get it. And then I thought for a second, well, look at GameStop. On GameStop, wasn't it kind of similar? Roaring Kitty tweets for the first time in like 3 years, and the stock goes up to like $80 a share in after-hours trading. Then it comes down. Then he posts that he's actually holding 5 million shares, and what happens? It goes up and then it sells off. So I don't know what that is about. Just seems kind of odd. He can buy 9 million shares and the stock drops. Who's so adamantly trading against him? I just don't really get it. Except that it feels like the institutions are trading against retail or something. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So anyways, no trades on that for me, as you can imagine today. But just odd. It just seems weird. So, and we don't know, we haven't gotten a YOLO update from him. So we don't know what the position is on GameStop that he's still holding. We don't know day to day what he's holding even on Chewy, because there's a lag between taking positions and when the filings go through. So like we really don't know. And in a way, it almost seems like he would have been better off purchasing that position, not in his own name, but through like an LLC or something like that to kind of disguise his ownership. Because it almost seems like at this point it's hurting him. Because people, it's just, why is the stock down this much? You've got someone who comes out and takes a 6.6% stake who's got, you would think, a really strong following, but I don't know. Now the stock's down. So something weird's going on there. Anyways, just interesting price action. And overall, it's going to be a short week this week. We've got the holiday, so do whatever you can to maintain discipline. Don't overstay your welcome. And I'll be back at it tomorrow morning, showing up as always, trying to carve a little bit of profit out and see if I can have a nice day. And by the way, if you haven't checked out our 4th of July sales, those are going on right now. So you can come over, you could check out, join now. You could check out our Day Trade Dash, Warrior Starter, Warrior Pro bundles, and use those 4th of July coupon codes. All right. So hope to see you guys in the classes. It's a great time to be studying up, and it is a slower market right now, but I always think that that's a great time to learn because it forces you to be a disciplined trader. And it's always better to learn when the market's cold. That way, when the market does heat up, you've already learned some of the basic skills. So you're ready to hit the ground running. If you start when the market's hot, well, you're not going to be able to fully maximize on that hot streak. You'll have to kind of wait for the next cycle. So it's a good time to study. I look forward to seeing you guys in the classes. I'll remind you as always that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success as a trader. So manage your risk, take it slow, practice this simulator, and I'll see you guys back here. I'll be live streaming for Warrior Pro members bright and early tomorrow morning.